All right. Well, first of all, thank you to David and Casey for getting married. Thank you to my parents and Casey's parents. It's just been a great night so far. So, anyway, I wanted to start with that. When I was 2 years old, my brother was born. On that day, my parents gave me what would become my best friend for life. Mr. Doggy was the best stuffed animal that a boy could ask for. He was soft and fluffy with a winning personality and an uncanny sense of humor. Wait, this is the wrong speech. Sorry, this was for Mr. Doggy's bicentennial. 30 years in dog years is something to celebrate. This is it. Here we go. All right. Interior, living room, day. The year is 1988. David, 6 years old, runs into the room, bawling, followed by Jason, 8, his older, taller, more charismatic brother. I didn't do it, Jason pleads, while David cries to his daddy. Through the tears, Daddy can ascertain that the boys were playing football in the backyard. It was a bad throw, Jason explains. He dove right into the bushes. The wounds are superficial, and Daddy's able to calm David down. Dave, next time the throw is out of reach, just let it go. Dave looks up. But I had to, Daddy. I could have caught the ball. I had to go for it. To me, that story describes David in a nutshell. To this point, most of his life's decisions can be explained by that metaphor. Even if the ball looked uncatchable to most, he saw an opportunity and he dove for it, no matter the consequence. Right? Couple examples. Art school, growing longer hair than his sister. Portland, beards, his love for IPAs and cars he'll never be able to drive. Moving to Brooklyn before they even had a viable NBA team. These bold decisions have been met with varied success. But I'll tell you what, we wouldn't be here if David didn't feel that he had to go for it on several occasions throughout his life. Now, Casey may know David as this tall, confident, hairy man, but I knew him well before all of that. To me, David is still the kid slam dunking in the backyard, providing himself with self-supplied crowd cheer. Or he's the weird middle schooler listening to Oasis and reading encyclopedias. Or he's the master rollerblader. Yeah. Yes, David may have grown into the impressive marriage material that you see here today. But his matriculation took quite a bit of struggle and hard work on my part. Obviously, there's the physical aspect. As the bigger brother, I had to make sure that he grew up to be strong and virile. We used to play a game called Fighty Fighty, involving pillows and sumo-style attacks. Matches invariably ended with David crying over a bloody nose. But really, that wasn't my fault, because therein lies the risk of playing a game called Fighty Fighty. But what's important is that when we played the game this afternoon, no bloody nose. Yeah, right. Yeah. So I was also responsible for keeping him sharp mentally with debate. In middle school, I explained why Jurassic Park had to be a thing of fiction for the singular reason that we could never prove for sure if dinosaurs had skin. What? We only had the bones. Mr. Encyclopedia would get furious. And this kept him on his toes. But on top of the challenges I posed to Dave, I also taught him an important thing about teamwork. Very important in a marriage. Our sister Amy was forced on us at an early age. David and I would have to find clever ways to occupy her so she didn't get in the way of important things. Classic example was when we would build blanket forts and tell her that she was the nurse. So while we did battle with our Nerf weapons outside of the fort, her job was to stay in the fort and wait and wait and wait until we returned with injuries. In case you didn't know, in the early 90s, the advancements in imaginary field medicine were phenomenal. We would also read magazines with her in doctors' waiting rooms, promising that the next page wouldn't have a horrifying close-up of a praying mantis. But for the record, the next page always had a horrifying close-up of a praying mantis. To this day, Amy still can't read Highlights magazine. So I gave him the necessary tools to succeed, but what intrigues me now are the decisions David makes as an adult without my manipulative suggestions. And remarkably, he still draws upon the wisdom that he embraced as a 6-year-old. And aren't we lucky for that? Because he felt that he had to follow Casey to New York. We're all celebrating today. It's true. And Casey, you're not getting off that easy. I have one more thing to share. One of the first times I heard of Casey after she met David was when she and David were going camping at Salt Point in California. David told her that he wanted to go shooting bear for sport. To which she responded that she would love to, but only if they could shoot a baby one because they're cuter. When I heard that, I knew that they had a special bond, that David found someone who truly understood him. And of course, that bond was just rendered unbreakable when they told me that they'd frozen the baby bear meat, and that's what we're eating today. It's so tender, the baby bear. But seriously, you couldn't find two people more perfect for one another. They literally built their life and their bike racks in Brooklyn. And if this wedding is a testament to anything, it's the combined creativity of these two people. I, for one, can't wait to see what else they're able to create. So let's raise a glass and toast the newly minted couple. I love you, brother, and Casey, I'm so happy to call you family.